Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to our elders and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Akia Wasap. Today's lesson is entitled, There's Going to Be a Shortage of Men, Automatic Registration for U.S. Military. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His beloved Son in the Paleo Hebrew. And as always, the sit downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, to you as the gospel preached. All right, so we got the article up from the Hill, and we've been talking about, the prophecy in Joel where it speaks about how the Lord is going to remove far off from you, which is the elect, the Northern Army, which is the North American military. All right, because in the prophecies, it speaks about a third woe, all right, the least of the flock, which is the small hats, join the North American military in the war. And we see the beginning phases of it now with this conflict that's going on in the Middle East, which is Western Asia, in regards to Iran, Israel, and the U.S. All right, eventually, the North American military, all right, America's military, is gonna call for a draft. All right, and all those that get sent over there is gonna get put to death. All right, so all this information that's coming out with the so-called ceasefire, which, as I was talking about yesterday through the spirit, is a fragile ceasefire, which, the Israel is shooting missiles on Lebanon, which Lebanon, that land, was supposed to be a part of the agreement concerning the ceasefire. So the ceasefire is already broken. But eventually America is going to call for this draft, and they're putting all the pieces together to put them in position. So when it's time to call for this draft, they already have the legislation. They already got things written down to justify them calling for a draft. And a lot of men, all right, is going to get sent over there to go fight in this third world war, and they all going to get put to death. All right, so the Hill, automatic registration for U.S. military draft to begin in December. All right, this was published yesterday. It says eligible men will automatically be registered into the military draft pool. All right, automatically. And I was looking at some posts on social media, and the comment entry was, here it is, they automatically register men to go join the military or to be drafted, but can't automatically register people to vote, which we know voting and all that stuff is all scams and lies. But the point is, when it comes to war, all right, they willing to go against policy. All right, it says eligible men will automatically be registered into the military draft pool by December of this year, 2026, as part of an effort to streamline the previous process of self-registration and to save money. But wait a minute, y'all motherfuckers, excuse my language, is billionaires. What are y'all trying to save money for? All right, y'all got the bag. All right, and it says self-registration because people, especially these Gen Zers, man, they ain't too much ready for the pressure of war. All right, so they not out there registering themselves. It says the Selective Service System, SSS, the government agency that maintains a database of men to be called up to serve in the case of a national emergency, submitted a proposed rule to the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs on March 30th, according to the office website. Most men ages 18 to 25 are already required to register with the Selective Services, but automatic registration was mandated in 2025 as part of a fiscal 2026 National Defense Authorization. So while you were celebrating Christmas, You was in that jolly, and you was in that, it's finna be the new year, new me, and next year it's finna be my year. Esau was mandating legislation to automatically register men from 18 to 25. And we already know how Esau roll. These numbers is going to change. All right. It can drop to 16 and it can go up to 50. All right. It says the change, which was meant to save money. This is their justification. We want to save money, so we want to go ahead and put some stuff together where we can automatically register these people. Remember, they got the bag. Save money. These people got investors and billionaires behind them. All right. Transfers responsibility for the registration from the individual men to the selective service system through integration with federal data sources, according to the website. The proposed rule is currently under review by the Regulatory Affairs Office, awaiting finalization, which this is going to go through. The U.S. has not had a draft since the Vietnam War, with military service began voluntary since 1973, but former President Jimmy Carter in 1980 reinstated the selective service in the event of a national emergency, where the registry could be used to provide personnel to Department of War and alternate services for consensuous objectives if authorized by the president and Congress. All right, but the point is, all right, automatic registration for U.S. military draft to begin in December. Now, according to the prophecies, as I was mentioning, we've been in Joel, the 2nd chapter, a lot. All right, let me actually pull up a map for the Middle East. All right, let's go and pull this up. And we're going to get this in Joel 2 and link up with some other prophecies on how it's going to be a shortage of men. It's going to be a lot of men that get rounded up and sent over there, and they're going to get put to death, and that's their judgment from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 18. It says, "Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people," which the Lord is pitying his people now, the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, by giving them knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and the gift of faith. It says, yeah. Yahweh will answer and say to his people, "Behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith." All right, just basically going into the blessings we're gonna receive when the Lord establishes as the kingdom of priests under our Lord Yahushua. It says, "And I will no more make you a reproach among the heathen." All right, because we're gonna be on top. All right, going back to Revelation chapter 2, verse 20. "That which ye have, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh, I will give him a rod of iron, and he shall beat the nations," so on and so forth. We ain't going to be a reproach among the heathen anymore. We're going to be above the heathen. Here's a point. "But I will remove far off from you the northern army," the North American military, "and will drive him," which is Esau, "into a land barren and desolate." Let's pull up this map. That's Saudi Arabia. When you look at Saudi Arabia on the map, as you see here, it's just full of sand, just barren. It's not green like you see here in these other countries. All right. But let's continue on. "Barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea." That east sea speaks to the river Euphrates. All right. Which the river Euphrates is mentioned by name when you go into Revelation 16 in regards to the judgment of the Lord of hosts. Let me see. Revelation 16 and 12, "And the 6th angel poured out his vial." These vials represents judgment upon the great river Euphrates. All right, that's that east river or the east sea. "And the water thereof was dried up," which is happening now, "that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared." Prepared for what? For military, for war. All right, which that goes back to Isaiah 13. All right, Isaiah 13 and 1, "The bird in Babylon, prophecies of America," which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Let me skip down in the 4th verse. "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. All right. Kingdoms of nations gathered together. And then we seen over there in Revelation 16, the kings of the east being prepared, right? Revelation 16:12, towards the end, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So this judgment is going to happen in the so-called Middle East, which is Western Asia. It says back in Isaiah 13:4, at the top, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations to gather together. Yahweh of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle. So the Lord is appointing these militaries to clash over there in the Middle East. All right. The Lord is preparing the way of the kings of the east. It says they come from a far country, even from the end of heaven, even Yahweh in the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. So what's going to happen in the Middle East, they're going to shoot off what they call ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which go from a far country. All right. They travel through the heavens. All right. And they hit their destination. How ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. And that destruction is coming here to Babylon. It's going to destroy the whole land. So Esau is going to need bodies over there to fight this war. So back in Joel 2:20, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, North American military, and will drive him, which is Esau, the nation of people that's currently in the position of power, the so-called white man, into a land barren and desolate, with its face towards the east sea, the river Euphrates, and its his back part towards the utmost sea. Let's go back to the map. So the utmost sea is the Red Sea, not red as in color, but reed as in the plants that grow on the borders of this sea. All right. So in this area, Saudi Arabia, you have Israel, Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq. All right. This is the hotbed of war. It says, in its hidden part towards the utmost sea, and its stink shall come up. They're going to all get put to death. And its ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things. And one of the great things that he done is he blasphemed the Most High, blasphemed his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Fear not, O land. Be glad and rejoice, for Yahweh will do great things. Great judgment is coming in this area. All right. Now, when you go here to 2nd Esdras 16, 2nd Esdras 15, all deals with end time prophecy, chiefly Jacob's trouble in his war. But this is 2nd Esdras 16:33. The virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. Women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of the famine. So those that don't get destroyed, those that don't get sent over there to the Middle East by way of draft, all right, they gonna die over here by famine. All right. Hear now these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord, the prophets. Behold the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake, these false gods. Esau, all this technology, so on and so forth. We go off the prophecies, just like with this whole ceasefire. You know, we're not believing that. Oh, it's a ceasefire. Things is going to go back to normal. Oil prices is going to go down. We stand on the prophecies, but within the prophecies speaks about men dying, and it's going to be women mourning. All right. Because they ain't got no help. And what's going to happen is Isaiah 4:1. The Lord is going to be sending women to the men of the Lord. Isaiah 4:1. In that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel, which is going to be a troubling time. You know, there's going to be famines and all that. But what it's saying is, the Lord is going to put a different mindset on these women. We ain't going to have 6-figure income. Bros ain't got to be 6 feet. You know, bros ain't gotta have luxury cars. Bros ain't gotta have all this superficial things that Babylon exalt. Women is just gonna want to be with us because we're men of the Lord. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. And part of the reproach is that these women, they not gonna have help. They're not gonna have helpers. Like it say in 2 Esdras 16:33. They're not gonna have husbands. Ain't gonna have no bridegrooms. All them niggas gonna get put to death. Yeah, as they men getting put to death, as a protection is leaving them, they gonna sit on the ground mourning. Let me see. Isaiah 3. Isaiah 3:25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. Pookie, Ray Ray, Thuggo, Chad. All right. All these niggas that these women exalt on this side, they all gonna fall by the sword. And her gates, her protection shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Women is finna be brought very low. At the draft, their men getting taken out of here, hyperinflation, rationing out gas, energy crisis, rolling blackouts, disease, pestilence, no food. Man, it's a wrap. All right, the only protection is going to be those that's in the truth. All right, we go to Isaiah 32 and 1. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. This is Yahweh Shai and his governing body. A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So a man of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to be where the protection is. The Lord already said in the prophecies that he's going to remove far off from us the northern army. The Lord is going to make a way where the men that's in his truth, that believe wholeheartedly in the testimony of Yahweh Shai and the names of Yahweh Shai, the Lord is going to make a way to where they're going to not get caught up in this draft. And the Lord is going to be protecting them. In the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The Lord will have a spirit on his men. All right. So these men, as it says here in Isaiah 13, which this chapter goes into the prophecies of Babylon the Great. We're going to start at the 11th verse. And I will punish the world for their evil. All right. Part of the punishment is the Lord sending these niggas off over there in the Middle East to kill them. And the wicked for their iniquity, Esau. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. And we seeing that because Esau had to tiptoe out of this ceasefire. I mean, had to figure out a strategic way to get up out this situation in the Middle East, because they was getting their ass handed to them by Iran. But the Lord is mustering the host of the battle. He's going to keep them over there. And all that sophisticated tech and all these billions of dollars and the ships and all that stuff. All right. These different technologies that make Esau proud, the Lord is humbling that shit. And I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Here's the point. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So this obviously ain't talking about a regular man, because the regular men that's outside the truth is finna get destroyed in the wars and perish in the famines. All right. We read in Isaiah 32 that the men of the Lord, those that won't have their eyes dimmed, they're going to be fully illuminated with this truth. All right. They're going to be a protection in a hiding place. And that's going to make us gold. All right. So let me see what happened. Let's go back to this article. So I just want to bring balance and comfort concerning, this draft. Like I said, we've been speaking about this a lot. All right. And they moving towards, man, Esau knoweth that he have but a short time. All right. End time prophecies is working against Esau, so he has to come down with great wrath. All right, and push his enterprise before they get destroyed. So Lord willing, this was edifying to the Lord's flock. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kakwadash. We in the end. All right, just waiting on the MOTB to be made mandatory. And continue to watch and pray. Shalom, Akim. Yahweh Bashem Al Shah Brakatham.